Welcome to Spelling Bee Ninja, your go-to podcast for mastering English grammar. We're thrilled to have you join our community of learners. If you're eager to improve your language skills and unlock the potential to express your thoughts clearly, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe for more insightful lessons that will fuel your educational journey. Today, we're diving deep into the future perfect tense, a key grammatical structure that will empower you to articulate your future accomplishments with confidence. The future perfect tense is a powerful grammatical tool that English speakers use to describe actions or events that will have been completed by a specific point in the future. This tense is particularly useful for discussing goals, deadlines, and sequences of events. It allows speakers to project into the future and articulate plans and outcomes. To understand how we use the future perfect tense, let's start by breaking down its structure, uses, and some illustrative examples. The future perfect tense describes actions that will be completed by a certain time in the future, often answering the question, what will have happened by then? For instance, if you say, by next year, I will have graduated from college, you're asserting that your graduation is a future goal that will be completed before a given point in time. Another example is saying, she will have completed her project before the deadline, highlighting both the action and the time frame for its completion. The structure of the future perfect tense is quite straightforward. We use the formula subject plus will plus have plus past participle. For affirmative sentences, you might say, I will have finished the report by tomorrow, or they will have built the bridge by next year. To form negative sentences, simply add not after will or use the contraction won't. So you would say, I will not have finished the report by tomorrow, or they will not have built the bridge by next year. Questions in the future perfect tense start with will, followed by the subject, and then have plus the past participle. For example, you could ask, will you have completed the task by noon, or will they have arrived by the time the meeting starts? Now, let's explore some common uses of the future perfect tense. The first and most common use is to describe actions completed before a specific future time. For instance, you might say, by 10 p.m., she will have prepared dinner, or I will have saved enough money for the trip by December. These sentences clearly show actions that are expected to be done before a certain time. The second use involves expressing expectations or assumptions about actions or events likely to occur. For example, he will have left by now, implies an assumption based on the time that has passed. Another example could be, they will have reached their destination by midnight. This gives listeners context on the timing of an event in relation to future possibilities. The future perfect tense is also fantastic for discussing long-term goals and milestones. For example, by saying, by the age of 30, she will have traveled to 20 countries, you illustrate a significant future accomplishment. Similarly, stating, we will have launched the new product by next quarter, highlights goals set for the future. To maximize your use of the future perfect tense, it's important to incorporate time markers. These markers provide crucial context for your sentences. Common examples of time markers include 1. By followed by a specific time or date, such as by 2025, I will have finished my degree. 2. In followed by a duration, like in 2 years, they will have built the new stadium. 3. Before followed by a specific event, for instance, she will have cleaned the house before the guests arrive. Here are a few practical tips to help you master the future perfect tense. First, familiarize yourself with past participles, since the future perfect requires them. Ensure that you know the forms of common irregular verbs. For example, the verb write becomes written, go becomes gone, and see transforms into seen. Practice using these forms as they are essential for constructing accurate future perfect sentences. Second, try to practice incorporating time markers into your writing. Time expressions can make your sentences more meaningful and precise, such as saying by next week or before the meeting. Third, apply the future perfect tense in real-life contexts. Use it when discussing your plans, goals, or hypothetical scenarios to internalize its usage and make it feel more natural. Finally, it's crucial to differentiate between the future perfect tense and similar tenses. Understanding distinctions can help you use each tense correctly. Let's consider two comparisons: future perfect versus future simple and future perfect versus present perfect. The future simple tense focuses on actions that will occur, whereas the future perfect emphasizes actions that will be completed. For example, you might say, I will finish the project tomorrow, in the future simple tense, while for future perfect, you would say, I will have finished the project by tomorrow. The second comparison is between future perfect and present perfect. The present perfect tense focuses on actions completed up to the present moment, while future perfect projects completion into the future. For instance, in present perfect, you might say, I have already read the book, whereas in future perfect, you would say, I will have read the book by next week. It's also essential to be aware of common mistakes when using the future perfect tense. A frequent error is confusing the structure. For instance, saying, I will have finished the work by 5 p.m. is incorrect. The correct form is, I will have finished the work by 5 p.m. Another mistake is using the wrong time frame. For example, saying, she will have finished the task yesterday rubs against the timeline since yesterday is already in the past. Correctly, you would say, she finished the task yesterday. Lastly, don't forget the time marker, as it often aids clarity. Instead of saying, they will have completed, a complete sentence would be, they will have completed the project by Friday. Let's look at examples of the future perfect tense used in various contexts to understand it better. In daily life, you might say, by the time you wake up, I will have prepared breakfast, or she will have left for work before you arrive. These examples show the actions that will be completed ahead of another future event. In the workplace and educational settings, you could say, by the end of the semester, the students will have completed all their assignments, or he will have finished writing the report by next Monday. Lastly, when discussing long-term goals, consider phrases such as, in 5 years, I will have mastered 3 new languages, or they will have achieved their fundraising target by the end of the campaign. These phrases reflect significant accomplishments projected into the future. To master the future perfect tense fully, it's also beneficial to practice creating your own sentences based on prompts, such as, what will you have accomplished by the end of this year? Describe an event that will have taken place before your next birthday. By incorporating these practices into your learning routine, you'll gain confidence in using the future perfect tense effectively. In summary, the future perfect tense is a remarkable tool for expressing completed actions and goals within a future time frame. By mastering its structure and applying it with the right time markers, learners can significantly elevate their English communication skills. Remember that the future perfect helps you articulate what will have been accomplished by a specific time, setting clear expectations for future events and milestones. Keep practicing, and soon, you'll find yourself using the future perfect with comfort and ease in both spoken and written contexts. Thank you for joining us today on Spelling Bee Ninja. We hope you found this lesson on the future perfect tense both informative and engaging. As you continue your journey in mastering English, remember that practice is key. Don't hesitate to revisit this lesson and integrate the future perfect tense into your conversations. Be sure to subscribe for more educational content that will help you grow in your language skills. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.